Learned from the Secretary of State's office that it was, in fact, a pipe bomb. The location of this on East Washington, very important. Let me show you what's around. If you look over here, we have Chase Bank, just behind it, the old state capitol. And over here to the left, I can show you, we have seen firemen take out everything from what appears to be furniture to pieces of wood and cardboard inside that building. Just a few minutes ago, we watched it, flames pouring out from the inside of that building. We have not seen those in the last 5 minutes or so, but the firemen still working at this time. Problem is, business owners say so few of us actually stop in. Now, the way one of these business owners is trying to change that isn't sitting well with this ward's alderman. With this much snow coming down in such a short amount of time, there are bound to be problems. And trust me, there have been. If you are thinking Arby's, maybe you might want to think about it a little bit later in the day. They're closed for now. Take a look. A shed over here blown over. All of the employees, the managers tell me about 7 of them, had to come out, pick up everything around that area. Those employees are now inside drying off, but the restaurant, it's closed, and it probably will be for much of what's left in the day. The rash of shootings in Springfield continuing now for a 5th day. Officers at the intersection of 13th and Cass. One tornado victim turns volunteer while another isn't sure where he will sleep tonight. We'll tell you who and why. Live from Washington. They only got one warning. It came from smoke detectors inside of the building. Walk with me a little bit. I want to show you something here. This top apartment up here, that's where firemen tell me that the fire started. You can see people inside of it right now. They're investigating, trying to determine what exactly caused this fire. That's Unit 8. Walk with me one more time. I want to show you one more thing here. Springfield Fire Department Investigation Unit. That's who's taking a look inside. That spot also significant. And here's why. It is the place where people who live here self-evacuated when this fire started. Neighbors tell me the people up in that apartment took off before they had the opportunity to speak with Springfield firemen. Luby says this isn't just about party ties. Trust me, I asked about that specifically. He points out that AFL-CIO is supporting Republicans like Judy Bartopenka. In the past, it's been Rich Brower, Raymond Poe, local Republicans. In the big race for the state's top spot, though, they are sticking with a Democrat, throwing support behind current Governor Pat Quinn. Live at the state capitol, Shantel Middleton, ABC News Channel 20. Good evening, Maggie. Here's the deal. The meeting started right at 5 o'clock, and just like last year, the teachers are meeting in the auditorium here at Southeast High School. Also, just like last year, no one is saying anything just yet. We came here to Southeast High School just as school was letting out for the day, and we spoke with parents. Listen, the district has had some disappointing turnouts at some of these early superintendent search meetings, including one that had about a dozen people in it. So now, with about 2 candidates, the district would like to see more parents involved. But will they see that? We asked parents today. 3:17 p.m. Class lets out at Southeast High. Buses line up in the back, parents in the front. We walk right up to them and ask.
There's a superintendent search meeting on Wednesday. Do you think that you'll go to it?
No, probably not.
Tell me a little bit about why you won't go.
I don't know nothing about superintendent.
Their general knowledge of the District 186 Superintendent Forum ranges from next to nothing to just about everything, with some more than ready for Wednesday.
I got quite a few questions that I want to see what their answers or their response are going to be. You know, I mean, it's too much of the old boy system, placing folks in that are somehow connected to somebody.
After meeting Saturday, the school board narrowed the superintendent candidates down to 2. Dr. Michael Popp and Mrs. Jennifer Gill. Both are Illinois educators, but Gill spent most of her career in Springfield.
She got the job done. You were able to talk to her. She communicated very well, and I really liked her as a principal. She was very good with the parents.
With the last superintendent leaving under a cloud of controversy, Gill's experience in the district could work for and against her.
My thing is, if she's been here in the district, I mean, and for how long did she work and who was she connected to in the district?
With a final decision now just days away, District Representative Nalo Mitchell says this.
It's very important to not only have our parents involved, but have them engaged as well as the community.
Your voice, she says, will have a major say in who gets the job. In addition to posts on Facebook, calls from the district office went out to parents today, reminding them of that meeting on Wednesday. Now, if your email address is on file, you can expect a little note from them there as well. Live in Springfield, Shantel Middleton, ABC News Channel 20. There is nothing but debris for as far as the eye can see. In fact, we're standing in what used to be an Advance Auto Parts store with a subdivision behind it. Those homes here yesterday, gone today. Folks who live there forced into shelters as they wait for help.
We heard the sirens go off, but the sirens have gone off in my life, 50 times, and no tornadoes ever hit me. So we didn't take too many precautions.
Kayla Palmer says 5 minutes after the warning, Sunday's EF4 tornado barreled down.
We just hit a corner wall and we all climbed on top of each other and we just prayed our hearts out.
Those prayers answered, the family safe, but their home turned inside out. Her family's first instinct to check on others.
My faith, it was strong that day. It had to be. I had no other choice.
In less than 24 hours, that faith transformed her from a victim to a volunteer at the Red Cross shelter at Crossroads United Methodist Church, where Kevin Moss turned for help.
I thought it was just going to be a storm. And then all of a sudden I heard the sound. It sounded like a freight train outside. And I got up to walk out of my room and the windows just blew like a bomb exploded.
He escaped safely, his home only minorly damaged, but now a gas leak in what's left of his neighborhood is forcing him out.
The thing about this that's very difficult is the uncertainty. I don't know where I'm going to be staying tonight.
Last night, 30 people stayed at that one shelter alone. Throughout the day, hundreds more stopped in to eat and to rest. Liz.
Shantel, what about tonight, though? How many people are sleeping there?
It's hard to say how many people will stay at the shelter overnight. Even though there's a 6 o'clock curfew, the Red Cross says they won't take account until midnight. And to add to that, a number of people are now staying with friends instead of at the shelter. Live in Washington, Shantel Middleton, ABC News Channel 20. It is well below zero, so I have to ask, where will you sleep tonight? If that's a question you've ever struggled to answer, then you can relate to the homeless in our community. If it's something you've never faced, then just take a look at this. 3 places, a shelter like Contact Ministries, outside in the cold, or a warming center. For some of our neighbors, those are the only options. Let's start at Contact Ministries, which opens at 5 p.m. and is supposed to close at 9 a.m.
Because it's so cold, there's no place for them to go except warming centers.
Getting the 11 women and 10 children there in sub-zero temperatures, difficult. Cabs never showed. The shelter's vans wouldn't start. An employee worked 17 hours until Executive Director Cindy Drum could get there to take over.
I get to know the moms and the families, and my heart breaks for them because I know them, and I know this child has no place to go.
If you can get to them, there are at least 5 warming centers in the city of Springfield, including the Lincoln Library.
I plan on using the internet, maybe looking up some articles until, maybe someplace opens up for me to go.
Michael Mays says he spent the last of his money on a hotel last night and then walked to the library.
And so do you know where you'll sleep tonight?
Not entirely guaranteed, no.
He isn't alone in that challenge. The library is full of people. The employees don't ask any of them why they're there.
I think it's really a great service.
Lincoln Library Executive Director Nancy Huntley is glad to see so many taking advantage of the library's warmth and resources, though she's not happy with the idea that it is what some must do.
I just hate to think anyone would be outside tonight. It is so awfully, awfully cold.
The executive director of Contact Ministries actually left her own 3 children at home in Rochester today so she could drive to the shelter. She didn't want those women and children there to be forced out in these conditions. Now, usually the shelter opens about this time, 5 p.m., but to accommodate those families, they never closed. Live in Springfield, Shantel Middleton, ABC News Channel 20.